What's going on, MMA fans? I'm back to do my UFC 87 Seek and Destroy predictions. Of course, taking place on August 9th. Going to be a great card, top to bottom. So let's get right into it. Work my way from the bottom of the main card all the way to the top. First fight of the night, Jason McDonald, Demian Maia. Jason McDonald, good stand-up, really good jiu-jitsu skills. Fought the likes of Joe Dorson, Yushin Okami, Rich Franklin, Chris Lieben, Ed Herman. He's looked better in his last couple fights. He looked pretty good against Joe Dorson. Of course, losing to Okami, losing to Franklin. But, you know, he looks, every time he seems to get into trouble, and even in his losses, he seems to come back just a little bit better. So, one positive note about Jason McDonald is he looks like he continues to get better in every fight. Then he's, you know, of course, going up against Demian Maia, who's a world-class grappler, ADCC, black belt in jiu-jitsu. Demian Maia's striking has come a long way since earlier in his career. It's definitely gotten a lot better. You know, fighting the likes of Ed Herman, Ryan Jensen, and Fabio Nagao. I'm going to go with Demian Maia in this fight. I think that McDonald probably will try to keep the fight standing. May even go in for a takedown. I wouldn't be surprised, but I see Maia being able to get McDonald down, go for a submission, and try to secure it, and submitting McDonald. I'm going to go with Maia via third-round submission. I think this is going to be a back-and-forth fight, but I think Maia will pull off the submission. Next fight, Manny Gamburyan versus Rob Emerson. Gamburyan, of course, world-class judo, world-class submission skills on the ground, loves leg locks, great wrestling base, and his stand-up's not too bad either. Fought the likes of Jeff Cox, Nate Moore, Sean Shirk, Nate Diaz. Of course, Nate Diaz with the shoulder separation, but Rob Emerson, of course, has got pretty good takedown defense, decent stand-up. He's got a really good background with kickboxing, and of course training with the Huas, Vale Tudo, and Timo Yama. But fought the likes of Gray Maynard, Melvin Gallard, Joe Camacho. I think Gamburyan is going to be able to take Emerson down consistently. I think Gamburyan can control Emerson in most aspects of the fight and outwork him, because Gamburyan's got great cardio, which I didn't mention. But I think that he'll be able to outwork Emerson, and I think he's going to take it to a decision. I think that Emerson's got, you know, a decent enough ground game that I don't think he's going to get caught in a submission, but I could be wrong. But I'm going to go Gamburyan via unanimous decision. Next fight, Kenny Florian versus Roger Huerta. Kenny Florian, of course, black belt in jiu-jitsu, great stand-up, dangerous elbows, trains under Mark Delagrati. You know, he's got improved wrestling. You saw it in the fight with Alvin Robinson, being able to work for that single and then the double takedown. I mean, he looks better and better in every fight. You know, fighting Joe Lozon, Dean Thomas, Sean Shirk, Alvin Robinson, Diego Sanchez, Alex Karalexis, of course, with the nasty cut. But Roger Huerta, good wrestling base, good stand-up, you know, decent ground game. He's not too bad on the ground. You know, fought Clay Guida, Alberto Crane, Leonard Garcia, John Halverson, Doug Evans. The list goes on for him. I'm going to go Kenny Florian on this fight. I think that Roger Huerta definitely has the cardio, but I think that the stand-up goes to Kenny. And I think the wrestling, in some aspects, even though, and Roger Huerta has the better wrestling base and all around has the more explosive shots, but I think Kenny has improved dramatically with his wrestling. I think his takedown defense has gotten a lot better, and I think he could even take Roger Huerta down. I think Kenny's going to be able to outstrike Roger, and I'm going to go Kenny Florian. I'm going to say Kenny Florian via third-round TKO. I think he's going to stop Roger Huerta and win the fight. Next fight, Brock Lesnar versus Heath Herring. Lesnar, training out of, you know, the Minnesota Martial Arts Academy, same as Sean Shirk. Primarily a wrestler, wrestled with the WWE, but he's not a bad wrestler. He's not a bad guy by any means. He's a Division I NCAA champ. I mean, he's no slouch as far as wrestling is concerned. Fought Frank Mir, lost via the toe hold, and also fought Min-Soo Kim in K1 and won via the first round TKO. But Heath Herring, of course, training out of the Las Vegas Combat Club. He's got a good wrestling base, good stand-up, good submission skills on the ground. He's not bad on the ground at all. If you've seen any of his fights in Pride, he's got a decent ground game. Fought Chet Congo, fought Brad Imes, fought Big Nog, Jake O'Brien, Gary Goodridge, Fedor. The list goes on. Crow Cop. It goes on and on and on for him. But this fight, this is really a tough fight for Lesnar at this point in his career. Herring, I think, has dealt with wrestlers in the past, guys that are just as strong, guys that are just as explosive as Lesnar, and I think that he's going to be able to withstand most of what Lesnar has and be able to get out of it. Herring is an explosive guy off of the ground. He's very, very active. I think he'll be able to get out of tough positions on the ground, use the fence to roll out. I think he's going to stop Brock Lesnar in the third round via TKO. I think he's going to stop Lesnar. I think he's going to be able to, maybe sweep Lesnar, get on top of him, either in half guard, maybe move them out, and pound them out. So I'm going to go with Heath Herring, third round TKO. And this fight could even go to a decision, but I'm going to go with Herring, third round TKO. Alright, main event. George St. Pierre versus John Fitch. Tough fight to call, let me tell you. This is a real tough fight to call. George St. Pierre, of course, trains out of Jackson's. What can you say about George St. Pierre? One of the best guys, if not the best guy at 170 in the world. One of the most athletic guys in MMA. Great takedown defense. Good hands, good leg kicks, good submission skills. Fought Matt Serra, fought Matt Hughes, fought Sean Shirk, fought Josh Koscheck, fought Frank Trigg, Jay Huron, Jason Mayhem Miller. The list goes on for him. John Fitch, of course, is has a gorilla black belt in judo / jiu-jitsu. Good wrestling base, good hands, good stand-up. He's not a slouch. Excellent clinch game. He's a very, very dangerous guy in the clinch. Fought Chris Wilson, fought Diego Sanchez, Ron Carneiro, Luigi Fioravante, Kuniyoshi Hironaka, Thiago Alves. The list goes on for him. Tough fight to call. I've gone back and forth on this fight, I'm not going to lie, and I think a lot of people have, because John Fitch has a solid chance of winning this fight. And I don't think enough people are giving him credit in this fight to just how talented he is. But there's one thing that I think gives an edge to the other guy, and I'm going to pick George St. Pierre in this fight, and I'm going to pick him via 4th round TKO. The athleticism is, I think, going to be the difference in this fight. Where Fitch will put St. Pierre in trouble is if it goes and it gets in the clinch. Where I think Fitch can dominate St. Pierre. I think he can be stronger than St. Pierre in the clinch. But where you won't see GSP dominated is in the middle of the ring. If Fitch tries to go for a shot for a takedown, St. Pierre is going to be able to sprawl, get out of it, and you probably will see GSP take Fitch down in the middle of the ring. And I think the athleticism, I think GSP's footwork, I think his leg kicks, I think that's what's going to win this fight. And I think you're going to see St. Pierre consistently be able to get Fitch down. You may even see St. Pierre decide at some points in this fight to stand and trade, even though he's been a little bit more gun-shy since being knocked out by Matt Serra. But I think that's what the difference factor in this fight is the athleticism. And Fitch is not the quickest guy in the world. And he'll even admit that. You watch any of his interviews. But I'm going to go with GSP, 4th round TKO. Tough fight to call. I'm going to say this right now. I will not be surprised if John Fitch wins this fight because he's not getting enough credit. He's a talented dude. And if John Fitch can get GSP in the clinch, GSP's going to be in for some tough night. And John Fitch has decent hands. So if GSP makes a mistake, John Fitch can catch him. There's no doubt about it. So tough fight to call, but I'm going to go with George St. Pierre, 4th round TKO. I think he'll win this fight. So nonetheless, leave me some comments, constructive, negative, positive. I'll be back the night of the night after to do my review video. And on that note, you guys, have a great day.